Let's head over to the NFL. There was still a Monday night game, folks. Saints at the Seahawks to wrap up week 7 in the NFL. And it was a close game, so it was really competitive all throughout. Just really low scoring and really bad offense, for the entire game. Look at these drives, folks. Look at these drives. First drive for the Seahawks, move 9 yards. First drive for the Saints, move 9 yards. And then the Seahawks get a play that goes big. It just goes big. That's all it is, folks. And that opens up the Seahawks to score 7-0. 84-yard touchdown pass to DK Metcalf once again. It was just DK Metcalf that just kept going down the sideline. It wasn't like a big throw, a little bit of a dink off, a little bit, or I think it went like 10 yards maybe down the field. But either way, it was just DK Metcalf taking it all himself. And then that's the only touchdown the Seahawks put up for the entire game. And really all the points that they really put up for the entire game as well. And then just continuing on with these drives after the one play that went big. The Saints go 33 yards, have to punt. Seahawks go 15 yards, have to punt. Then the Saints -2 yards, punt. Seahawks 15 yards, punt. And then the Saints get a play that kind of goes big. They got a 23-yard pass that kind of breaks big, but it results in only a field goal. They have to settle for a field goal getting down in the red zone, and the Seahawks are still struggling here offensively. 18 yards, have to punt, and then the Saints get another big play, 31-yard pass to Alvin Kamara. Once again, a little bit of a dink off here that breaks big, and they're able to score a touchdown off of that, and then that kind of goes into halftime, and then they're back to really not moving the ball. 8 yards for the Saints out of halftime, punt. 32 yards, a missed field goal. And this was, also what was holding the Seahawks team back and really why they lost. The poor field goal kicking. We're talking about a 44-yard field goal. This Seahawks team loses by 3. They missed 2 field goals. One was the 44, the one that we just talked about. The other one came a little bit later in the fourth quarter, a little bit longer, 53 yards, a little bit longer, but still, at the end of the day, you lose by 3, and you kick 2 field goals that just did not go. So unfortunate for the Seahawks team. Another loss with Geno Smith at the helm. Womp, womp. Poor performance by both of these offenses. That resulted into a close game at the end, and we get once again Geno Smith with the ball in his hands at the end of the game. Have we seen this before? Yes. And did we get the same ending? Yes. The Seahawks lose 2 weeks ago against the Rams. Geno Smith, 1 possession game, interception, not his fault, but still threw the interception, and they lose the game because of that. Rams score a field goal, so it's now officially a 2 possession loss for the Seahawks. But still, Geno Smith, ball in his hands at the end of the game, flounders. Then what happened last week? Geno Smith in overtime, ball in his hands, getting the ball back. Next score wins. And what does he do? He fumbles the ball. Womp, womp. And then just last night, 3 weeks in a row, Geno Smith with the ball in his hands, down 3 points, 1:56 left. All you need is a field goal. So let's watch what happens to Geno Smith on this last drive. He didn't turn over the ball, but he got sacked twice and put him into a 4th and 28. That's basically turning over the ball because you're not completing a 4th and 28. Exactly what we just saw last night, not completing the 4th and 28. And once again, Geno Smith, ball in his hands, last possession, can't get it done, and they lose the game. Truly unfortunate here with the Seahawks. So let's watch Geno Smith work here on the final drive. What went wrong? Did the pressure just get there? Was there things open? We don't have the all-22, so we have to work with what the screen showed us. But let's watch Geno Smith on this last drive, starting at his own 25-yard line, down 3, 1:56 left. First play up, here we go, drops back to pass, decent time to throw over the middle, but incomplete, well short, trying to hit DK Metcalf. Now, they hit DK Metcalf on that first kind of big drive that went big. Their second drive, they went to DK Metcalf, and then they really never went back to DK Metcalf until the fourth quarter when they were trying to get the ball moving down the field, but it was a little bit too little too late at this point. I don't understand it. We're going to talk about this, but after we watch this final drive here, but can we get the playmakers involved, please? Get DK Metcalf involved, especially after you just hit him big and he went 80 plus yards, and then you don't go to him basically for the rest of the game, and then not going to Marquez Callaway again for the Saints team. What are we doing out here? Not scheming the offense right, or just not trusting the quarterbacks in general, which we understand not trusting Geno Smith, but you're not trusting Jameis Winston? What are we doing? He's really kind of cleaned up the turnovers, or he's only cleaned up the turnovers because the passing is so conservative. They're not opening it up. But either way, they try to target DK Metcalf. Geno Smith shorts the ball by like 3 yards. Incomplete. Now we get 2nd and 10. Here we go. Geno Smith dropping back the pass, and the pressure comes off the edge right off the rip here. Geno Smith pump fakes to kind of get the defender in the air. He's not biting at all here. Let's quickly see, was there anything open? Yeah, Geno Smith, you just have to let that ball fly right there. It probably would have only picked up maybe 1 or 2 yards, but it's better than taking a 7-yard sack here. And I think, do they burn their last time out here? Yeah, 1 timeout, so, you lose the timeout. No, they didn't lose the timeout, but now we get 3rd and 18 here. Now it's 3rd and 18 when you need to pick up the first down because you need to get into field goal territory. So a bad sack taken there by Geno Smith, but we understand, the pressure did come right off the rip, so, it's a tough decision to make. We get it. Still unfortunate. And now we get 3rd and 18. He's going to get sacked again. Here we go. Drops back to pass. Decent time to throw here. Trying to escape out of the backfield, out of the pocket, and just gets brought down by his heels. Once again, obviously there is a significant level of talent drop-off when you go from Russell Wilson to Geno Smith. We know Geno Smith is a little bit of a dual-threat quarterback. Obviously not as fast as Russell Wilson. His escapability is not there. And he tried to stand in the pocket tall, tried to escape, and unfortunately takes a sack, and now we get the 4th and 28. Let's see what he does here on 4th and 28. They're only rushing 4. The Saints are dropping everybody back. He's throwing from his own end zone. Pressure failed. He still has to escape, and then flings it deep, and unfortunately it's just broken up, and incomplete. Turnover on downs, and unfortunate here for Geno Smith. Not even that deep of a ball, only kind of going like 20 yards down the field. DK Metcalf seemed to have that in his hands a little bit out here. Let's see if we can get a better look at this one. Was this broken up, or did DK Metcalf try to get his hands on this ball? It looked to be broken up at the last second. Real good defensive play there by the Saints team. And like we said, it's 4th and 28. You've got no good chance at completing that ball. So truly unfortunate for the 3rd week in a row. Geno Smith can't play hero ball when, that's basically what Russell Wilson is. He keeps you in the game, and then, he's got that real great chance of leading you back and getting that kind of walk-off score to win the game. That's what makes Russell Wilson so special, is because he usually comes up clutch for the most part. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes for the last 2 seasons, folks. What's happening this season? Patrick Mahomes' his magic is running out. Same thing with like Russell Wilson last season, the offense kind of falling off at the end of the season. Russell Wilson's magic kind of running out a little bit. Play calling has to do with that as well. That's why they got rid of the offensive coordinator coming into this season. But once again, they started 2-5. Russell Wilson wasn't winning the games that great or in great fashion before he went down. So, it's hard to be consistent in this league, folks. So, once again, bringing it back to everybody trying to compare everybody to Tom Brady. You can't, because the man did it for 20 years really without skipping a beat here, where we have, Patrick Mahomes entering kind of year 4, Russell Wilson kind of entering year 9 here, losing the magic a little bit. Now, we'll see if they can regain it. They can definitely still regain it. I'm not saying that they've lost the magic forever, but still, bad starts here for the Seahawks and the Chiefs. And truly unfortunate for the Seahawks team. Coming into this season, we in the offseason, we've been discussing that kind of NFC West, the Saints, the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Rams being the toughest division in football, but the 49ers and Seahawks have 2 wins each. I mean, not even really competitive out here. So, nothing, obviously, nothing goes exactly as you think it would. Some teams are surprising. The Bengals are the big surprise team this season. And I would probably say thinking that they wouldn't be that good. Now they're really good. That's the surprise by the Bengals, where the Seahawks and the 49ers surprised the opposite way. They were supposed to be really, really good coming into the season. But, big flounder jobs right here. Both losing in prime time these last 2 days. Not the greatest look for these NFC West teams that have to compete with the undefeated 7-0 Cardinals. How are you doing that at 2-5? So a must-win game here for the Seahawks in another loss here. Real conservative offense. So let's start talking about some numbers here. So here we go. Let's start with the Saints here. Jameis Winston goes 19 of 35. This is nothing good, folks. He threw for 222 yards. A lot of those big plays going to Alvin Kamara on the dink down. And we'll, see the leading receivers and all that in a second. But let's get the completion percentage here for Jameis Winston. I mean, 54%, folks. What are we doing? Jameis Winston got to open it up a little bit. Or is Sean Payton holding this offense back? I mean, folks, we have to remember this Saints team just came off of a bye, and this is what they wanted to put out there. This was the best. This is what they've been hammering in all week, to dink it down and not really do anything and have Alvin Kamara break it big, which he has the ability to do. But I mean, you're just going to rely on that? I mean, that's really kind of what they've been relying on really this entire season. They're not relying on Jameis Winston. They're using Jameis Winston as a game manager and not a Ryan Tannehill game manager where, you let him kind of air it out a couple of times, throughout the game. They're just using him in a pure game manager. Like, we really don't want you throwing the ball here and, or throwing the ball deep, just dinking it down and trying to, let small things break big out here. And I don't think that's how you're going to get it done with the Saints team. I mean, yeah, the Saints are 4-2. So, obviously it's hard to knock them. And, I'm sure y'all will come at me in the comments being like, why are you knocking the Saints? They're 4-2. They're winning games. They're better than the majority of the teams in the league. But, they're not beating the best teams. They really haven't had that true test against a real great team thus far this season. So, yeah, you're beating the Seahawks. But, putting up only 13 points and seeing Jameis Winston barely throw for over 200 yards. Once again, only 222 yards. What are we doing? We know Jameis Winston has the big arm. He threw for 5,000 yards in a season. He was consistently hooking up with Marquez Callaway in the preseason games, and even all the slim chances that they have of just putting Marquez Callaway deep down the field, they're always hooking up with each other. But here we go, Marquez Callaway, third leading receiver, 3 catches for only 32 yards, targeted 7 times. Why are we not able to get Marquez Callaway schemed open? You are coming off the bye, so I don't like what the Saints are doing offensively. Let's finish it up here, and then we're going to investigate this record here with the 4-2 Saints, because I'm kind of saying that this is the worst 4-2 team, and I think there are some 3-3 teams that I take over the Saints, so we're going to investigate that in a second. But let's finish up here with the stats here. Alvin Kamara, leading rusher, obviously, 20 carries, 51 yards, so the ground game is just not really working itself. That's what they're using Jameis Winston for, just to kind of, deliver the ball to some screens, some plays in the backfield, some dink and dunks, just to make it look like it, or just to make it potentially to break big, because you have playmakers like Alvin Kamara that can break it big. We saw it a couple times this game. On the touchdown drive, folks, like we said, the play that broke big, a 31-yard shotgun pass by Jameis Winston, pass short to Alvin Kamara that broke for 31 yards. So once again, dinking and dunking, not letting Jameis Winston just air it out and test the defense. We get it, you don't have Michael Thomas, but we're saying that Marquez Callaway is as good as Michael Thomas, as just for the interim, the 6-7 games that he has to fill in. We've been seeing great things by him when they let him go deep. Couldn't open up this game. So Alvin Kamara, leading rusher. Jameis Winston took off 8 times for 40 yards. And then the leading receivers here. Alvin Kamara, number 1 receiver by a mile, folks. Look at this. Alvin Kamara, 11 targets, 10 catches, 128 yards and a touchdown. And then the second leading receiver, 3 catches, Adam Troutman, 3 catches for 36 yards. So number 1 was 128 yards, and then number 2 is 36 yards. Do you see the drastic disparity there, folks, between who they're trying to get the ball to, where they're trying to get the ball to, and all of that? Then we have Marquez Callaway, 3 catches for 32 yards. Traquan Smith, 1 catch for 11 yards. So not getting it done. And then barely utilizing Kenny Stills as well. You've got speed on this team. Marquez Callaway, Kenny Stills, those are your deep threats. And then your Alvin Kamara, the shallow threat, the dual threat running back. Why are you not going dual kind of shallow with the passing and then opening it up, taking the shots down the field? Because you make the defense cover both aspects, because you've got both aspects, so make them cover both aspects, the deep ball and the shallow game. Mix it up, so they're always on their toes defensively, never truly know what to gauge, and then, that opens up the play action, and then you can go big here, but they just never got it done. Only 13 points, barely moving the ball here. The Seahawks, they had opportunities to put up more points. The Saints didn't. They didn't have any missed field goals. They didn't have any turnover on downs. They didn't have any turnovers where they were moving the ball. The Seahawks got down the field a couple more times, or they did have the fumble. I apologize. Where did they fumble this ball? Only at their own 28-yard line. So it was a quick fumble that led to 3 points here for the Seahawks. But, we talked about the 2 missed field goals here for the Seahawks. So they could have put up more than 10 points. They could have put up 16 points to win the game, and the Saints would have been still stuck at 13 points. No other real scoring opportunities for the Saints team. So just overall, I'm not liking this offense really at all. I don't understand what Sean Payton's trying to do. I don't know if he's just trying to prove that he's a good coach and proving that he can win by not throwing the ball, since he's been, building his reputation on throwing the ball, obviously with Drew Brees these last 15 years. But I don't understand. To prove that you're a good coach, mold Jameis Winston into the perfect quarterback. Why can't you do that? Jameis Winston, obviously the 30 interceptions is the black mark on his resume and all that. So, if you take those interceptions and get them down while still throwing the 30-plus touchdowns and 5,000 yards, that's going to show your genius as well. But it seems like he just wants to win with Alvin Kamara. I don't know what Sean Payton's doing. I guess that's what it is, folks. We don't know what Sean Payton is trying to accomplish here with this lackluster as heck offense, folks. So let's go to these. Let's go to all the teams here and see what the records are, and just see is this a good 4-2 team, folks, compared to all the other 4-2 teams in the 3-3, and maybe even the 2-4 teams. We'll see what some 2-4 teams are looking like. So let's just go through some teams quickly. Obviously, the Cardinals 7-0, better than the Saints, hands down, no debate. The Rams at 6-1, better than the Saints, hands down, no debate. The 49ers, I wouldn't say are better. They're 2-4. The Seahawks, we just saw they're not better. Now, if they had Russell Wilson, would they be better? Maybe a little bit, but I still wouldn't say overall that the Seahawks are better than the Saints right now. Then we get the Packers 6-1. Yeah, obviously the Packers are better. Then we get the Vikings at 3-3. Do I take the Vikings over the Saints? They move the ball a lot, gosh dang more, folks. They put up 147 points so far. The Vikings have. What is the Saints team? They've put up 140 points. Is that right? They've put up 140 points. I don't believe it. Let me go back. Let me check their scoring totals throughout the season, folks. Are you telling me the Vikings have only put up 7 more points than the Saints did? Interesting. The Saints had a bye already. That's real interesting. Let me see what the Saints is doing this year, point total wise. Here we go. What's their point total so far this season? Here we go. All right. They put up 38 points week 1. I'll give them that. 7 points week 2. 28 points week 3. 21 points week 4. 33 points week 5. And then the bye week 6. And then just 13 points. So they had 2 good weeks of 30-plus points. I'll give them that. And the 28 points against New England. So they put up 38 points against the Packers. 28 points against New England. 33 points against Washington. All right, so they're getting the points down. We'll give them the points. It's just the passing yards that are truly lackluster. It's really just the passing yards. All righty. Alrighty. I mean, their most passing yards is 271, and that was with Washington. I mean, when they put up 38 points, he only threw for 151 yards, folks. When he put up 7 points, he only threw 80 yards. When they put up 28 points, they only threw 110 yards. So I guess the point totals are there, but the yardage, it's not matching up with the point totals. Getting some good takeaways, the defense, relying on the rushing attack, Alvin Kamara, and all that. So I go, okay, so that's what it is. It's not the true point totals. Okay. I still think I might take the Vikings, and they're 3-3. I think I'd take the Vikings over the Saints right now. The Chicago Bears at 3-4. I don't really take them because I have to take Matt Nagy. I'm not taking Matt Nagy. Lions 0-7. I take the Saints. Obviously, they know how to win games, and that's something that we like. You know, no matter how you get it done. That's why we can't knock the Saints too much because they are still winning games, but we don't like the way they're winning games. Like we love the way that the Cardinals are winning games and the Cowboys are winning games and all that. We don't like the way the Bills are winning games. That's why we just sold them against the Titans when they lost. We'll see how they kind of bounce back after this bye that they had this week. So, we do kind of see and count how y'all win and which ways you win and all that. And so far, we just don't like the way the Saints are winning, folks. Then here we go. The Tampa Bay Bucks. Obviously, we take the Bucks over the Saints at 6-1. The Falcons at 3-3, and this is an emerging Falcons team. I love what I've been seeing from this Falcons team these last 2 games here. So yeah, I think right now I take the Falcons at 3-3 over the Saints at 4-2. Carolina Panthers, no way. We're not taking Sam Darnold over. I mean, Sam Darnold has 6 more points, has put up 6 more points than the Saints, folks. Does that sound right? No, it shouldn't sound right. So Sam Darnold at 3-4. No. We take the Saints over the Panthers. Cowboys at 5-1. We take over the Saints. We take the Saints over Washington. I take the Eagles over the Saints. I take the Eagles at 2-5 over the Saints. I don't take the Giants at 2-5 over the Saints. Titans at 5-2. Obviously, we take over the Saints. Colts at 3-4. I don't take the Colts quite yet over the Saints. Jags at 1-5. I don't take them over the Saints. And the Texans at 1-6. I don't take them over the Saints. Bills at 4-2. I take the Bills over the Saints. Obviously, Patriots at 3-4. I think I take the Patriots over this Saints team. The Patriots have put up 170 points, and Mac Jones, let's get that up. Let's see what Mac Jones has been doing here, just passing total-wise for the Patriots. And the fact that Mac Jones is just out-throwing Jameis Winston, that's where we have the problem, folks. Now we've got the problem where we've got rookie Mac Jones and these tier 2 receivers, basically just tight ends all over the board here for the Patriots offense. They're putting up more passing yards than Jameis Winston on a consistent basis. Look at these passing yard numbers: 268, 159, 251, 295, 226, 215, 403. I mean, every single game better by basically like 100 yards every game. Why are you letting Mac Jones out-throw Jameis Winston? What are we doing here? So I take the Patriots over the Saints right now. I don't take the Jets. I'm close to taking the Dolphins because at least, once again, Tua. Everybody likes to knock Tua. Let's get what Tua's been throwing for, and he's only got 3 games, folks. We'll also see what Jacoby Brissett was doing. But so let's go to the Dolphins total so far offensively of what they've been doing points-wise this year. Or not points-wise. We're looking at yardage-wise, passing yardage-wise. Here we go. 259 or 185, 145, 197, 168, and then Tua's getting back up here. Then we get 262. That was the last game without Tua. Then with Tua, 354 and 281. So once again, Tua back from injury. They're still letting this man rip the ball more than they let Jameis Winston rip the ball. Obviously, with Jacoby Brissett, we know Jacoby Brissett's not a good passer, so that's why his totals were kind of on par with Jameis Winston. But we know Jameis Winston's a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. So what are we doing once again? The Raiders at 5-2, absolutely, I take the Raiders 100%, and we've got them big in our power rankings, so watch out for that. Chargers at 4-2, yes, we take the Chargers over the Saints. Even the Chiefs at 3-4, I'll take the Chiefs at 3-4. We know that this Chiefs team still is moving the ball; they're just turning the ball over. I'll live with the turnovers. I know the Saints are turning over the ball, but I will live with the Chiefs turnovers for just getting some points on the board, for getting the yardage, passing yardage, opening it up. I will swallow all those turnovers, even though it results into a 3-4 record. record. So the Broncos at 3-4. I don't think I'd take the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater's floundering. And then the last division here, Bengals at 5-2. Yes, we take the Bengals over the Saints. Ravens at 5-2. Yes, we take the Ravens over the Saints. Browns at 4-3. Yes, we take the Browns at over the Saints. And then the Steelers at 3-3. Yeah, we take. Yeah, let's see what Big Ben is doing. What is Big Ben doing this year? Passing the ball. We know he's struggling, moving the ball, passing the ball, all of that. So let's get what the Steelers are doing yardage-wise through the air, and if it's so much of a drastic comparison compared to Jameis Winston. So here we go. What are the Steelers throwing for these games? Here we go. We're reading off the totals here. Game 1, we get 177, but then it picks up 292, 297, 220, 244, 226. So once again, out passing Jameis Winston. What are we doing? Sean Payton, what are we doing? Truly, because I'm not loving anything about it. You're winning games, so we can't knock you too much. We just don't like how they're winning it. So Saints get the win 13-10. Let's quickly finish off the Seahawks stats, and then we will move on to celebrating the great tight end performances of the week. But Geno Smith goes 12 of 22. 12 of 22. We've got a 54% completion percentage, 167 yards. And if we take out the 84 yards, the DK Metcalf, that went deep, that went big. I mean, Geno Smith goes 11 of 21 for 80 yards. I mean, that's what the Seahawks offense did. We've known the Seahawks offense not great with Russell Wilson, and now it's still not great with Geno Smith, which is to be as expected. So no great passing game. He had a passing touchdown. We'll give him that. No turnovers. We'll give him that a little bit. Rushing-wise, we had Alex Collins. I mean, they ran the ball 16 times. They were trying to kind of, establish the run since they knew they really couldn't establish the pass, but the run couldn't get established. Alex Collins, 16 carries for only 35 yards. That's 2.2 yards a carry, folks. That's real bad. Jameis Winston Geno Smith took off 3 times and put up 12 yards. Nothing great. And then who was Geno Smith throwing to? We had DK Metcalf, 96 yards. 84 of them coming off of one pass. So 12 yards on the other catch that he had. He was targeted 5 times. But what the heck? This should have gave you confidence, and they barely were targeting him for the rest of the game. What are y'all doing, folks? What are y'all doing? Not getting the ball to DK Metcalf, especially since he broke it big. We've got the highlight. Let's watch the highlight, because this is who your playmakers are. Why are we not going to your playmakers, especially since they proved themselves real early on? Folks, this catch came only 5 minutes into the game, and they didn't go to DK Metcalf until it was in the fourth quarter, when it was a little bit too little too late, like we said. So let's watch what DK Metcalf did here. Play action pass. Geno Smith, here's this one. All right, he did throw this one like 20 yards down the field, so I will give him that. And then just a hesitation move to stay on his feet and then take it 50 yards clean down the sideline fast as heck. We know he's a track star. Tried to be a track star. I think he finished, like 7th place in that race. Ooh, good. But, on the football field, he's definitely one of the fastest. So he's in his own sport. He's in his element. He can get it done. So the fact that you just don't use DK Metcalf more, I would be giving this man 20 targets after this. But they gave him 5 targets for the game, folks. Absolutely unacceptable. I don't know what these offenses are doing here, folks. And then we second leading receiver for the Seahawks, Freddy Swain, 4 catches, 39 yards. Tyler Lockett, 2 catches, 12 yards. Gerald Everett, 3 catches, 11 yards. And once again, why are we not getting Tyler Lockett the ball when Russell Wilson plays? Tyler Lockett's going 50 yards on the field every single play. Tyler Lockett, 2 catches on 3 targets for only 12 yards. What are we doing? What are we doing? Extra time to prepare. This is a Monday night game. What are we doing? Seahawks were just coming off of Sunday night, right? Sunday night. So you still have some extra time to prepare. At least time to prepare. Saints definitely had more time to prepare, and once again, the offense wasn't looking that much better than the Seahawks offense. So I don't know what they're thinking. If they're thinking that these quarterbacks are holding them back, I can understand that a little bit with Geno Smith. But, he's always been in these games these last 2 weeks. He's only losing at the very end of the game. So try not to get in that situation. It seems like the Seahawks are playing not to lose. lose, and at the end of the day, they lose the game because they're down at the end of the game. So Seahawks not switching up their game plan, not trusting Geno Smith, Saints not trusting Jameis Winston. We don't like any of these offenses, and we don't like any of these teams overall. These teams are not even close to achieving the top 10 for our power rankings. I wouldn't even put the Saints team in even like the top 15. Like we said, we were going over some 4-2, 3-3 teams, even 2-4 teams that we liked better than the Saints. So that's where we are after week 7. Saints after the bye, lackluster, nothing to celebrate. Seahawks can't win without Russell Wilson's magic. So Saints get the win on the road, 13-10 to close out week 7. We're not buying either of these teams heading into next week though.